Okay, I'm going to be talking about my favorite album in this format, mainly to prove to myself I can edit, because I've touched video softwares before, but I've never done like a full project. So this is going to be my first project or whatever. If you see me looking down, it's because I can see the camera on my phone right here. I'm here to talk about my favorite album, which is ROMCOM by Jakey, which, speaking of Jakey, I am fully copying his setup as an homage, I guess. I don't know. I have my monitor, I have my camera, I have the desk, we got the coffee right here in this cool coffee mug, which we're ready. This is just gonna be me talking about my favorite album for fucking 30 minutes. I don't know, until my camera runs out. I got 28 minutes, so we'll see. You know, before I go into this journey of like figuring out kind of what artist I want to be, filming music videos, making more music, doing all of this shit, I really do want to like kind of set a baseline so you can like look back on this and cringe. This album is so a part of my identity, it's like absurd, and it really was the catalyst for everything, hence the fucking video title, which I don't even know what I'm gonna be saying. It's gonna be like, this album fucking made my life or whatever. ROMCOM by Jakey. This album changed my life. This album came out when I was in high school at the beginning of 2022, which was my freshman year. So literally at the fucking beginning of like, you know, figuring out who you are, it's like this album was kind of there. Before then, I was very heavy into music, not the type of music that this album kind of does, which is like the emo fucking, like, you know, there's a little bit of pop, rap, very hip-hoppy, very trap. The music that I was into was very much like bands like Peach Pit, Sonder. I was very into David Bowie, Childish Gambino. You know, my point being, this album was very different to what I was listening to, and I was excited for it because I had known Saint Like as a song for many moons. I was very into R&B, which is not even R&B. I really loved that song. And then Pine Barrens came out, and he announced the ROMCOM album, which was supposed to come in February. People were saying Valentine's Day. Fucking fully missed it. Did not happen. This was like the first album that I had like waited for. Like I had been listening to music, but I was never the person who used music as something that I'm only doing, right? So I was waiting for this album, and it finally came out beginning of freshman year. And I was going through some things. I was probably in my first like relationship, or not even relationship. I was in my first like anything ever. This was like the teenage heartbreak, like first fucking album that I would listen to. I remember when I listened to it, it was like the fucking worst thing I had ever heard in my entire life, which I know is like crazy, if, you know, given the fucking title. I was cat sitting for my friend at the time. Shout out Buster. I'll throw some fucking pictures right here. But while I was playing with him, I was like, well, I might as well give this album another shot. So I listened to it like a couple days after it had come out. It kind of started to click for me then, when it was like the first hip hop, not even first like any rap, anything ever, trap, whatever the fuck. It was the beginning of my perception, at least. And this album started like a passion for music for me. Like the samples, the weird synths and shit, it was just nothing that I had ever heard of, which looking back at it now, it's very clear like where the inspirations are drawn from. A lot of Kanye stuff, a lot of you know, I don't even want to say shoegazy. I guess Fathead is a little shoegazy, but not really. I don't even know. It's like techno, house, whatever the fuck. It kind of blew my mind, just like what music could be. And I remember Drive Off a Bridge, like the fucking, like, you know, the chant sample, and then his vocals, which, you know, looking back on it, like this album, like I genuinely think that it's like the biggest 7 out of 10, maybe 8 out of 10 objectively, because the songs are very overproduced. The songs are very you know, clunky sometimes. That's what Fantano said about Totally Freaked Me Out. He said it was very clunky, and he's totally fucking right. But like, it doesn't really matter, because the emotion and the honesty that this album brings, which is like something that I had never seen before. Like, it was like an album that like somebody was being so raw and so honest that like it changed what I thought music could be. Giving it your full attention really does elevate the album. Shit like Pine Barrens, for example. This song, if you listen to the lyrics, is so like brutal, and inner voice versus you know, outer voice, which is how I perceive the song. It's totally not like the objective meaning. This album changed just everything for me. It was the album that I was obsessed with in freshman year. It was the album that I was obsessed with in sophomore year. Junior, I had my moments. Senior year, and even now, like, I will go back to it, listen to it just fully as like a piece of work. Just like fucking love the entire process, even though, you know, again, I just said it was a 7 out of 10, which, whatever. I think that this album really defined my identity. It is very foundational to what I love, and now I'm a fucking musician. I remember listening to this shit 1,000 times, hearing these samples, like Drive Off a Bridge, that fucking sorority chant, or Survival Horror, the fucking you know, that one meme, like, I don't get no sleep because of y'all, or whatever, that fucking sample, and Reeboks are the Nikes, just like every little detail. There's so much ear candy. That's what Tyler the Creator says about his songs. There's a lot of ear candy, which, like, comparatively, like, no, like his, like Jakey's album, ROMCOM, has so much more ear candy than like every artist combined. I think it was because I was so chronically online at the time, seeing all these things and then getting it put in the music. It was just fucking like oh my god, like I couldn't believe that people would like do that. This album started my passion for music in a way that was so visceral and raw and just passionate, and I don't even know any other adjectives to describe it. This album really did change my life. It influenced everything I did. I mean, I don't even know how to describe it, because I was learning how to produce based on this album. I was thinking, oh man, I want to make some shit like this. I want to see what I can do. It's just so inspirational, the samples, and it was one of those things where it came out of, I had never heard anything like it, and even in searching for more things like it, there really just wasn't something exactly like he was doing it, which part of it wasn't even looking for a one-to-one. It was just the fact that like what he was doing was so him. I mean, like, if another artist were to go on one of his beats, it would just be different, because it's not emotionally the same as what he would rap about or sing about, or, you know, whatever the fuck. I was looking for a way to express myself, which in the process, I downloaded FL Studio. I knew I wasn't gonna stick with it, so I fucking bought the $100 version, because I was like, if I buy it, I'm gonna stick with it. I'm listening to this album over and over again, and instead of, you know, coming at it from like a listener, I was kind of thinking, well, how did he do this? Like, I was kind of breaking it down in my head. I've recreated Fathead in fucking FL Studio, not at, you know, not one-to-one with every instrument, like, you know, it doesn't sound exactly the same, but like just looking at the notes and how he did it, and like it was really just a great learning way for me. That was really impactful to like my understanding of how to make music. And then on top of that, because I was looking at so many like YouTube tutorials on like, what is a compressor, what like, how do you EQ, like how do you even fucking navigate a channel rack, and like all of these things like online, I was stumbling across other artists that are now like my favorite. Like I remember seeing comparisons to Quedeca, and now I've been listening since Scrapyard. I went to 2 fucking concerts for my first concert ever. I met the guy, and I literally talked about this album. I told him that I was an artist. I talked about this album. I asked if he had listened to it. He said yes. It was awesome, fucking great. Look at this photo. This photo is the funniest fucking thing in the world. The whole point of this is that like he led me to other artists through this album, right? It told me just how possible it was, you know, like switching gears a little bit. It kind of like seeing that a YouTuber independently can just upload an album online to, I don't want to say critical acclaim, but to have so many people like listen to it and relate to it, especially emotionally. You go online and you see people talk about this shit, and they almost always have something to say about, this album got me through, you know, my fucking mom dying, or my, you know, or like a, you know, that was pretty morbid, but my point being, it just shows just like how I was gonna say how depressed people can be. It shows just what music can be for other people, and I am very much one of those people where this album connected with me, and I am so grateful that it did. Again, talking about the artists that it brought me to, these are now inspirations for me and in the music that I make. I mean, my first album was very much fucking like Jakey inspired, but like even further past that, like my song Burn It All is probably the best thing I'll ever produce in my life. In my head, I was making this as like a Knots like a very dark, deep 808 heavy, overproduced fucking extravaganza, synth heavy, whatever the fuck. Knots was like the North Star of like what this could be, especially mixing wise and mastering wise, which it is not mixed and mastered well at all, respectfully to myself. It is ultimately kind of like the gold standard of what I wanted to do originally, with my music. And because it was what I wanted to do originally, it led to all of these great things. I never was producing and becoming an artist with the intent of, oh, I want to become an artist that people can listen to. It was just something that I wanted to listen to myself and have fun doing it. But I fell in love with it so much in the expression of myself that now I have a fucking album out, which I can't even believe. This was my high school experience, just this fucking album. Like, not experience in the sense of like, it's what I went through, but more so just like it defined what I wanted to do. There are so many other inspirations that I really can point to. That being said, I have 5 minutes left. That being said, he hasn't released any songs since this album came out. I judge a little bit, being like, well, fucking how many albums has Quideka put out? Fucking, Kendrick Lamar had an album come out before he made another fucking song. He is shooting himself in the foot by not having a release in between here and like showing us what to expect. Now the bar is kind of fucking higher, and I want there to be new music. Above all, I want him to be happy and do whatever he wants to do. I'm saying this like I fucking know him, but like, you know what? Let me fucking rank him right now. As the outro, this is the outro because we got 1 minute 30 seconds. Oh fuck, Fathead at the top. Very, I have like so many fucking listens to on that song, like damn near 1,000, if not more. So it goes Fathead. Oh fuck me, I don't know. Fuck me, I don't know. All right, see ya. Goodbye. Oh, check out the hat, dude.